Welcome to the madforitpodcast, the boys on the road to Oasis Live in 2025. Now, where is he now?
Oh, well, you might have known from last week's episode, Josh was trying to sneak into the Oasis practice
to get the information
sessions.
and make this up to date.
Well, I'm limited about what I can say because there's now a pending court case for trespass. But we're hoping he'll get off, being such a super fan of the band.
Maybe the first match of Oasis.
Yeah, we'll be back very soon. I'm sure.
Oh, right, yeah,
and we might see him later.
Yeah.
Promise so.
Okay, well, we got a good one for you. We've done movies. We've got movies before.
Walton Goggins and Sam Rockwell. It's not accurate.
We've done other interesting things, I'm sure.
What is going on here?
This is my new Berghaus Liam Gallagher sponsorship.
But there's one thing we've never seen from the boys, is a video game.
Yeah, and I find it weird in the sort of Oasis world, especially in the 90s, where, in fact, even today, like in the 90s, they're putting out cassettes in cigarette boxes.
Right, and you got the Funko Pops.
Today they're doing the bloody loaf of bread head figurines.
Yeah.
Obviously the drink that they launched as well. Like that, from what I did a bit of research, was never even a thing to bring out a video game. So
it's not very rock and roll, I guess, is it? It's not like, you're out there, you're having a few beers.
So do you think this is rock and roll, this Funko Pop figure?
I think for the 14-year-olds out there, they want to be a bit closer to Liam, maybe so. But yeah, actually, that's a really good point. Yeah.
But I don't know. I think what we'll do this episode is we'll talk through some potential ideas, and then to Josh, to give him something to do while he's waiting to get out. Yeah. What we'll do is we'll pitch him an idea, Dragon's Den style, for a video game.
Brilliant. I'm
going to go for a retro one because I haven't played any video games since like the original Xbox. You can come with something a bit more modern.
I'm probably before that.
Oh dear, Atari.
Yeah.
And then we'll pitch our ideas, Dragon's Den style, to Josh, and we'll see which one he wants to invest $1 million into.
All right, great. Yeah, I mean, do you want to lead us and get things going?
To start off, I think video games, especially in the era I used to like them, which is sort of PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 era,
Classic.
there were so many cash-in games so many like branded games.
Have you ever heard of Pepsi Man?
Pepsi Man?
Where you literally a man that's like just head to toe, like a morph suit of Pepsi, and all you do in that game is run down streets collecting Pepsi cans. It's like the most branded game.
I haven't heard that, but I tell you a game which was, and this is really old, it was on the Sega Game Gear, which my dad had, took 8 AA batteries, and literally that would last about half an hour, I would say, unless you plugged it in, which then obviously is not very much a portable system.
Right.
But on that there was a game called Cool Spot, that I was like, I used to play that, used to enjoy playing that. It was only years later I found out the Cool Spot is on the old 7-Up logo. There used to be a little red dot in the middle, and that was the character, and they just put like arms on it. And this is like advertising that I don't really remember. Wow. And that was a whole video game, like platformer jumping up and down, just off the dot from the middle of the 7-Up logo.
Exactly like Pepsi Man then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was probably the same game, just a different character in it.
I see. I used to have a T-shirt of the 7-Up guy.
Yeah,
so, as like a little kid.
The Cool Spot. That's what he was called, I believe.
Really? Wow.
The other one, and this is a little bit later than that, but I definitely remember having this. I think on the PlayStation 1. There was like a M&M's game, which was just like a platformer, like collect all the chocolate or something like that. But it was all of it was just an advert for M&M's.
Yes, and we as children were just like, this is so great.
And that got made, and that got produced. So like actually, the idea of an Oasis video game, especially back then, I don't think it's too far fetched.
No, I guess not. But then I guess would mothers buy for their children video games for Christmas? Do you want to give them like the thuggy? Druggy.
But you used to get like GTA or State of Emergency, like those sort of Manhunt, those sort of games. They were popular. Kids loved them, even though they shouldn't have been playing them.
Yeah, my mum bought me BMX XXX. I remember going into, and every time you won a level, you get like a striptease thing. I can't believe it existed, but Mum was like, "Yeah, I'm sure this is fine."
It's a game, isn't it? It's just like playing Monopoly or something.
It's for kids. It's like Lemmings or something.
I had a long think about sort of what sort of games possibly Oasis could have been, involved in, and these are my reject pile. So I'm just going to talk you through my thought process before we get to my pitch.
Go for it, man.
So I thought, one, you might remember because you're not too much of a football fan, but they brought out a game called FIFA Street, which was just sort of like a little five-a-side thing when you're in like a little cage, like a bit like the Nike Elvis advert you might remember, where they're all.
Yes.
It's a bit like that, but the only game you can play is Oasis versus Blur in that charity match in the late 90s where he squared up to him, and that's the only match you can play.
So wait, sorry, this is your idea for a game?
This is my idea. This is my idea for a game.
Blimey, yeah.
And it's like, there's the menu where you like select team and it's just Oasis, Blur, Oasis, Blur. Maybe there's like a cheat code and you can get pulp.
You can win pulp.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I thought that was there, but I thought that was good, but that was on the reject pile.
Okay.
I also thought Street Fighter.
Yeah.
But it's Liam and Robbie Williams.
Oh, that's great. So
just like punch, kick.
I had Gallagher Brawl, Britpop Royale.
Now, do you see that?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Mortal Kombat.
And like we talked about last week with the sort of Blur Oasis musical on the cards, I mean,
yes.
Maybe that could still happen.
Yeah, I mean, I bet someone's made that. I bet you could just AI that now. And it would just
like a mobile game as well. It's sort of like, pick it up and play.
Yeah.
And then my third on the reject pile was, and I've basically just got a title for this one, but it's Alan White's Drumming Hero. Like you just gotta, tap along like Alan.
Same fill over every song for
that's it,
5 albums.
The world's shortest game.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, those are ones on my reject pile.
Okay, just the Alan White one, would you have the pads for that, or is that like?
I think you would.
Yeah,
it'd be basically like Guitar
experience.
Hero, but drum hero.
I want to be Alan White. I want to be like. I want to be.
Exactly.
Feel that. Yeah, that rush.
And the quote on the box is, "This game's all right." That's it. Perfect. But that was a reject. All
right, let's get to the real stuff. Let's see what you got.
Was there any in your reject pile?
No, mine were all possible rejects. I basically just made a long list of video games that could feature Oasis.
Okay.
So I was way off. So.
But why don't we get in the... Go on, sorry.
Well, I mean, I could either list those now, or we could hear yours, and then we could use that against mine.
Okay. Well, shall I go with my pitch then?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You tell me your pitch, and then I'll go through mine, and you tell me what I think I should do. As a dragon, a strong dragon.
Okay.
You give me the advice on where I should go, and I'll present that to Josh. And then when I lose, I can blame you.
Okay. So I win either way then?
Basically, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll take that. I'll take them odds.
All right, mate.
Okay, so my idea, and again, it's going back to my age of what games I liked. It's basically Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, man, I did Crash Bandicoot. I called it Crash Gallagher. And you collect beers.
Well, my one was going to be called, and I thought, because often like games are very basic and explained, it's just called Rock and Roll Man. That's it. It could actually be a knockoff. It doesn't even have to be licensed by Oasis. You are Rock and Roll Man. And you sort of go through these worlds, and like Crash Bandicoot, where you could be the lass
girl
on the tiger. It was his sister, I think.
It was his sister. That was like the third one, I think.
Yeah, the third. That was peak Crash Bandicoot to me. But you could do that, and so you can be Liam or Noel, and like there could be other side quests as well.
Right.
And you've got like the racing game where they're like racing around the streets of Paris on those days.
Crash Team Racing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got like maybe a crowd surfing along one of the levels. It's like proper little episodic.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang was my idea for Rock and Roll Man.
Rock and Roll Man. You know what that sounds like? A Mike Stoyanov game. All right. I just kept going. Like once my brain started, it didn't stop. So we've already done Crash Gallagher and Britpop Royale.
Yeah.
So to further that, I've got Oasis Kart.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know, again, you got your Pulp Boys, you got your Blur Boys.
Yeah.
You know, throw a few Manics in there for me, and I'm happy.
They're throwing out gold discs to like crack under the tyres of the other cars, make them spin off.
I got Tomb Raider style.
Yeah.
I thought if like you're Noel or you're Liam, and you have to like climb ledges and get keys to get to a Nebworth on time.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be quite a cool one.
Mancreda.
There we go. It's just so easy to make. The Oasis video game is coming to stores soon. I've got one for girls. The Sims.
Okay, yeah.
And you just you nurture and love Noel, and you build a house and you give him a baby and you just take care of him.
Oh, you put Noel and Liam in the same house and they just hate each other and they just like fight.
Well, you learn not to do that and you put them across the street from each other.
The house burns down.
Yeah, you put them in a swimming pool they can't get out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what all the guys do.
Well, you could do that one, and then you used to have like expansion packs.
Yep.
You have one where it's like you get the recording studio and you can build that and then you make them make an album and they're like absolutely fuming with each other.
Sims album, it's like
yeah.
This is one for me from my nerdy days. Age of Oasis Empire. So you build an army and you fight the naysayers.
To be fair, you could have like that big crowd is sort of is like Nebworth style crowd, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
And they sort of come in, but then obviously I don't know if
Not
it
to
works
fight
always to fight in the
have to
crowd.
make like a bread mill and like a tailor shop.
Yeah.
And build your resources, oil and.
Well, they've had a
farming.
couple of ding dongs with the crowds down the years, so maybe.
They certainly have. With us being probably one of them at some point. If
Yeah,
you get the
yeah.
exposure. One you touched on earlier, but I think this is kind of probably the most obvious one. GTA Britpop City.
Yes.
So that's the obvious one. Set in Manchester. I thought. Did you ever play the game Bully?
Yes, yeah, I
By
remember that.
Rockstar Games.
Yes,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of basically the skin of like a school, a private school, and you play the bully in a school, but it's basically GTA.
Yeah.
And I thought we could go start small at Liam's hammer fight.
Yeah.
And you win the hammer fight, and then you get like rampage, and you get damage, and you do like special bars, and you fill up. And you can rampage like in GTA, but you can't do that in GTA. But you know.
Yeah. My only worry about that is obviously Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out next year.
Yeah.
But we can't be releasing that at the same time.
Well, that's
actual
up
Grand
to the
Theft Auto
dragon.
comes out.
That's not. We're not.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
We're
true.
the creators. We're the creators here.
True. Also, it's been too long for Grand Theft Auto 6. It can't be good.
It's been 13 years.
It's like it's a bit like Oasis, where it's sort of like out of time now with what people want. The sort of edgy humour.
Based on that, did we have a little bit of news come in? It might be a bit late in the programme for news. But
We do have some news actually, and actually maybe it ties in with video games because they've come out. Their core manager has come out and said, "This is it. This is one and done. No new music." Which I'm still very sceptical about whether that's true or not. Because I think, especially if they get on, it might trickle into a new album.
I think they would have done it by now.
You think?
I think it would have been a release, like either a Christmas release or like an April, May.
I think that's for the second time around. They have the comeback tour, then they release something, and then they tour again with it all.
Yeah, I actually changed
But so their core manager says, no, that won't happen. This is it. It's a chance for the fans to see them like one last time, almost like a farewell tour. But actually, maybe that makes it more likely they'll bring out a video game, so people can then live on as long as video game consoles exist.
They can't get away with a crappy little Pepsi Man anymore that people just scoop up because we're in the monoculture and we don't know any better.
Oh, I would buy it.
Yeah,
I would buy it.
You buy the new PS5 for £500, and you buy a £60 Oasis game just to have like a Noel skin and like punch.
I'm thinking they're more like mobile games now.
I think
that's the sort
for,
of more
for lads on the go.
Yeah, exactly.
A
Yeah,
little
yeah.
commute.
You're on the way to the gig. You're in the back of the taxi on the
yeah.
bus, and like, I'll just have a little go at Noel versus Liam Street Fighter.
I mean, yeah, punch triangle. All right, well, let me just see what else we've got here. I thought you'd love this one. I'm actually surprised it wasn't in your reject pile.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be when you started talking. I'm so glad it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oasis Manager Simulator. How fucking perfect is that? So you've got to book the tour, manage the relationships, sort the transport, and the recording studio time. And it's all just a horrible grid, and you just move numbers on a grid.
Oh, well,
for weeks on end.
As a football manager, previous obsessive, that I just can't play anymore because I haven't got the time, and I'm just listening to Be Here Now still, and it's taken up all my time. But as an obsessive of that game, I could imagine I would love that. And I used to love all those ones like Roller Coaster Tycoon and Theme Hospital, all those ones as well. Like build all the merch.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have an extra food stall at Nebworth. Yeah, we'll have a hot dog stand and then the popcorn stand and whatever.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, and you got to build Nebworth, and you got to get the gig on time, and it's got to be safety regulated, and the trash has to be taken out.
On Football Manager, so I used to love playing that game. Finished university, was like trying to get a job, desperately trying to get a job. Finished uni in the summer. And then it got to the next January, and I think I'd basically just all I'd done is play Football Manager the whole time, to the point where I literally got the disc and snapped it in half, and literally got a job about 2 weeks later. I honestly just killed all my focus. I was this is great. I'm just back at home being looked after, just playing Football Manager 10 hours a day.
Oh. Well, that's the lesson for the kids out there then. If you're stuck on something and life's not going your way, get rid of the games.
Well, kids today now, it's download on the laptop. So it's on Steam or on the PlayStation store. So you can't get rid of it, can you? It's stuck with you.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Why is it a ceremonial?
Smash the laptop.
Snap the disc in half.
Yeah.
And I think the empty box is still at my parents' house somewhere. And then literally got a job. My first proper job.
Congrats.
Off the back of it.
Good,
yeah.
Good for you.
So thanks Football Manager for delaying that about 8 months worth of being employed. But yeah, good times. Won the Premier League.
Oh, congrats. It's Hartlepool.
No, I'd never play as Hartlepool because I couldn't cope if we didn't do well. It's already a stressful game, so I couldn't be my own team. So
you made up a team.
No, you just pick another team and then like
You take them all the way.
take them from the bottom right to the top. Displacing Manchester United and Chelsea and Liverpool and all that.
Well, okay. That's great. I'm glad.
It's Mad for Football Manager.
Yeah.
Okay, coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon. Yeah, everything. So you were that was kind of your game and your style. My original style when I had a PC, like way back when I was a kid and games were a bit more scarce and we couldn't afford anything, was more like point and click.
Yeah.
Adventures like Monkey Island or Grim Fandango.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Command and Conquer.
No, with that was the...
That was your Age of Empires.
That was the Age of
one.
Empires
Yes,
one. Yeah. So this is more like, you just like a flat 2D screen and there's like a door and a bucket and you have to click things and go around. So that was going to be the Lost Tapes. Point and click adventure to find the Lost Oasis album by solving puzzles and interviewing people. The end changes depending on what you find. That's... All right.
Well, I can see why it's in the reject pile.
It's not in the reject pile. It's in a very possible pile.
Okay.
I would have liked that as a kid.
Okay.
All right.
For some reason, when you were saying that, I was just like, imagine the game Worms, but it's just got the Oasis band members. It's exactly the same.
You were just thinking that the whole time.
Yeah. You won't see because I had the glass on, but I was just like, God, Worms was fun, wasn't it? I played that on PC.
You never played like Broken Sword or...
No, they're boring, mate. Boring. Final Fantasy, all these.
No, you get your way off. No, never mind. Right. Let's do something you may understand. Noel Souls. Dark Souls.
Okay,
so like a medieval...
You're getting too modern now for me. See,
but I'm trying to traverse.
What about Worms?
All right, so it's all of Oasis versus all of Blur.
Yeah.
And you just fire rockets at them from across the screen.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's it. It's just Worms, which was brilliant.
That game almost broke me and my wife up.
Why?
Because it was just such a nightmare.
You were playing that in this day and age?
Yeah, they still make them.
What were you playing it on?
PS4.
On the telly?
Yeah. They still make them. I was like, I'll get this and play with her. This will be a laugh. And then the competition just got too fierce.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't get Worms, kids.
Wow. When's the divorce?
It's next week. Noel Souls, battling through medieval Manchester as Noel's ancestor, finding items that will help form the ideas Noel will come up with down the generations.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think like as the game rather than just the format of the game, like what you would do in the game and how things...
It's a bit like your earlier suggestion, I would say.
Oh, what?
But not as good because I don't know Dark Souls.
Well, I don't know really Dark Souls, but I just thought...
Yeah.
All right.
What about? Actually, I've got one just come to mind.
Here we go.
You know what people? Well, you know people love those like truck simulators.
Yes.
And it's the tour bus.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's really easy because you never see behind. You're just looking out on the road.
Oh right. So you don't have to put Noel in.
Yeah, literally, it's really easy to make. There's just like these glasses just dangling down from the mirror. That's it. But they just skin Euro Truck Simulator 3 or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's better than the last 5 according to you that you just made up on the spot. I thought about these all afternoon. The Ballad of the Gallagher Brothers. So a Red Dead style set in the UK. You try and hold your band and your brotherhood together during the Western times or during some kind of English oldie time, like a Blackadder time.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be quite cool because then you could choose your character. You could play as them. You could play all the way through as one, all the way through as the other.
Yeah.
Different endings, that kind of stuff. Right, and last one, bringing it right up to today.
Yeah, and this is your pitch.
No, these are all... You've got to choose one of these.
You can't... No,
you've
got to choose
chose your own.
You can't have 10 pitches because we've got to present them to...
Yeah, but
Duncan Bannatyne and Josh.
As a sort of as a dragony guy, as a business guy, holding this conversation together.
Okay.
These are my 10 ideas that you're supposed to pick from.
Okay.
So far, you've chosen Worms as your own thing, and then Driving Simulator as your own thing. So actually, things I didn't spend all afternoon thinking of. Like last one, you're not going to like it anyway, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Supernova VR.
Oh.
I thought you could be in the music videos. You could walk around behind the guys as they're doing stuff. Not really a game as such, but more like an experience. Yeah,
you could do that, and then you could then pipe in the Noel Gallagher commentary from that DVD where he's like, "How big's that shirt? This is crap." That's like an extra thing you can unlock. Like downloadable content. That's it. You pay more for that rubbish.
Yeah. All right. So, of all those ideas, then, what do we think?
I think you've got to pick the best one from that. It's I couldn't be responsible for you. For your choice to...
Well, I feel like GTA is too obvious now.
Yeah.
I feel like Oasis Manager Sim, I think we had 2 different ideas about that. but maybe not. And that is really boring though. I've got to think what Josh would go for, because it's a competition, right?
Yeah, maybe
so it's not really about what's the best, it's about what Josh would like the most.
Yeah.
So just remind me of yours again.
So mine is, of course, Rock and Roll Man.
Rock and Roll Man.
Is the name of the game, and it's a Crash Bandicoot, very like levels based. You play as Liam, you play as Noel. There's a bit of crowd surfing.
He's gonna love that.
That is the game, and you collect in the gold records as you're going round, and you can collect in the bottles of beer, and that's my pitch. That's my pitch to the Dragons.
Well, that's a fantastic pitch. I will go with Oasis Manager Sim, because I think you could basically make that in an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So there's no costs there. There's no licensing involved.
Yeah.
Does a football manager play music over it?
No, of course not.
It's just cold, hard sheets of numbers.
It doesn't. I don't think it even has like commentary like FIFA does, where it's like, and it's in the back of the net, like really like stilted John Motson. Again, this is me showing my age of like when I was playing these games. But yeah, I don't even think it has that, because it comes up at the bottom like, oh, you've hit the bar, like, or whatever.
Right.
So don't need commentary, don't need music.
Or fun.
No, really fun. I would look. I'm actually worried, because I think I'd rather play your game than mine that you come up with.
You would. Well, I think we've got two very different games. I think we've got two very... Well, yours is at least interesting and fun, and mine's like boring.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely going to go for yours, because yours is like everything everyone wants to play all the time.
Yeah.
And mine is a bunch of spreadsheets. So I don't know how I'm going to win this. And either way, even if I do win, you're also going to win, because you helped me pick it as my kind of advisor.
The thing is, that's probably the one out of your games I would like to play the most.
You see, I'd like to
imagine it's like, how much you want to like sell the tour t-shirt for, and it's like, 58 quid, fans aren't happy.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, there's a riot, that's it, you're getting like kicked out, the bad management. In fact, you could have like a level where it's the Ticketmaster disaster, where it's like, that's a real folly. Like, one of your first things is like, right, set the prices for the reunion, you're like 370 quid, oh no, fans aren't happy, they're on your case.
Well, I mean, should we try? How do we make contact with Josh? He's in some Japanese prison.
So I believe he's been. We can send him our pictures, and then he's going to judge them from there. He might have met some people actually who've got loads of cash to spare to invest in this game as well. So he's going to judge them, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to see what he thought.
I think I know how this is going to go, if I'm honest.
Right.
But yeah,
over to you, Josh.
Both games are good. I like them for two different reasons. It's like, I think Tom's is good. If it was like a mobile game, you just play it on your phone on your computer, it'd be great. I'd really be well into that, like organising the tours, organising salaries, all that stuff. Put a bit of challenge in it, like you've got to get it good. Like, make sure they're getting enough money, make sure the fans are happy. Like, I love that. But then Adam's just straight up kind of brawler, classic Sega type. Go through the levels, do all that. Amazing. So I'm torn because they both appeal to me. I like the idea of something just to play on the phone, nice chill, wait for a plane, on the tube, on the bus. That sounds good. But I think Adams would be the one that would appeal more. It's just straightforward. You know what you're doing, easy to pick up, not a lot of thinking. So Adams wins on that, but both strong ideas, guys. Good job.
Yes, get in
well,
there.
It was kind of expected. I mean,
Rock and Roll Man is coming. That's it. We've got the investment, and it's coming out next year.
You get an investment from a guy in prison.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, he knows a guy who knows a guy at some big games company. Yeah, Rock and Roll Man, it's coming. I can't wait. The boys are gonna love it.
Well, just thinking about it, there were two games that I played as a ute.
Yeah.
When we first started emulating older consoles,
I
was just like, what's Michael Jackson Moonwalker? I have to find out.
And what is it?
It's like this 2D thing, and he like moonwalks and like shoots stuff, and it's awful. Like, this is what you imagine. It's like the most cash-in thing ever. The only one, and the other one that's just come to mind is a 50 Cent one.
Yeah.
Which I believe is like a Max Payne thing, where you can like jump forward in slow motion, like bullet time. But you've got the bulletproof vest, and you're like 50 Cent. It's got all the music and stuff. So not bad games.
I don't think there's ever been a good band-related game,
apart from like the rock band stuff.
But they're not necessarily linked to it. And it's same like probably the one I played was do you remember SingStar? That one, which again, like I think they did editions on like ABBA or whatever.
Right.
But I remember playing that as a kid.
Is that just karaoke through the PlayStation?
Literally, through a horrible microphone and to like really like compressed music videos of whoever. And my main memory of that was being a sort of like squeaky voiced preteen,
Oh.
the song that I could nail was Pink, Just Like a Pill, because for a woman she's quite low,
Right.
but for like a
hey.
preteen boy, that was like the perfect level. So that was my go-to.
I thought you were going to say Walking in the Air.
If it was out when I was younger, maybe. But yeah, that was my go-to. A bit of Pink.
Oh, right. Well, we're going to have to bring that back. We're going to have to see how you...
Karaoke special.
Yeah,
If we get really desperate for ideas.
Oh,
Yeah.
when? Yeah. I haven't had that. Yeah. All right, I think that's going to do it, mate. Short and sweet.
Yeah,
You know?
and I think we've come up with some really good ideas there. I think
Yes.
even on our reject pile, I mean, I would play a FIFA game where you could only play as Britpop bands. So
Yeah.
there's lots of scope for
Yeah.
these games to come out. And you know, if anyone from like Rockstar Games or
Yeah.
like Sony Games is watching, Microsoft,
just let us know.
let
We've
us
got more
know.
ideas. We can just come up with more stuff.
Yeah,
Very conceptual
literally.
guides. Very...
some even worse than we've already come up with.
we can do
So
far worse, I promise. Yeah.
You name it, yeah. And once GTA 6 is out of the way as well,
Yeah, get it
there's
out.
going to be a gap. Like, what's the next big game? What's
Yeah.
the next big game?
Yeah.
And it's FIFA Street with Oasis.
Absolutely.
Or Oasis Management Simulator.
All right, guys. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you've got this far, please like and subscribe and do all the normal things. Thank you for sticking around, and we'll see you next Thursday. Mad for it.